Rachel and Ben had been married for 6 years. Their life in a quiet Charlotte suburb revolved around their 4-year-old daughter, Lily. Rachel, a wedding planner, thrived in her fast-paced career, while Ben, a software tester, offered steady support. Their marriage, however, had reached a rough patch. Ben's long hours and Rachel's late-night events left little room for connection. One evening at a client's cocktail party, Rachel ran into her ex, Ethan, a charming photographer she had dated in college. What began as nostalgic drinks became an unforgettable night of reckless passion. While Ben waited at home, unaware, Rachel slipped into their house at 3 a.m., her heart racing with guilt. Ben was asleep on the couch. Lily's toys were scattered nearby, a painful reminder of her betrayal. She told Ben she'd been working late, but Ethan's familiar touch had reignited old sparks, pulling her into a moment of weakness. Rachel swore it was a one-time mistake, fueled by wine and nostalgia, not love. She showered, trying to wash away the guilt, but Ben's gentle snoring haunted her. She promised herself she would bury the night, believing silence could protect their family. The next morning, Rachel played the role of devoted wife, making breakfast for Lily as Ben left for work. Then her phone buzzed with a text from Ethan. "Last night was incredible. Again, soon." Panic seized her. She deleted the message and blocked his number, desperate to erase the mistake. Ben noticed her unease and asked if she was okay, but Rachel brushed it off as work stress. His trusting smile hurt more than any accusation. She immersed herself in Lily's routine, hoping normalcy would bury her secret, but the truth has a way of surfacing. Days later, a mutual friend, unaware of Rachel's betrayal, mentioned seeing her and Ethan looking close at the party. Ben's expression tightened, though he didn't press. Rachel's heart raced. She lied, saying it was just catching up, but Ben's silence spoke volumes. He had sensed her distance, her late nights, and now this. That evening, he checked their shared calendar and noticed inconsistencies in Rachel's work hours. Instead of confronting her, Ben called the friend, who innocently revealed that Ethan had bragged about reconnecting with Rachel. The truth hit Ben like a sledgehammer. When Rachel came home, Ben was waiting, his voice calm but cold. "You were with Ethan that night, weren't you?" Her denial collapsed under his steady gaze. Tears fell as she confessed the one-night betrayal, swearing it meant nothing and begging for forgiveness. Ben's response was measured. "I waited for you. I trusted you." He moved into the guest room, needing space to think. Lily's laughter the next morning was a painful contrast to their shattered trust, and Rachel knew her unforgettable night had cost her everything. They tried counseling for Lily's sake. Rachel poured out her regret, explaining how she had felt invisible in their routine, how Ethan's attention had been a brief escape. Ben admitted his long hours had left her lonely, but the betrayal was a choice he couldn't forget. They set boundaries, no contact with exes, complete transparency, but the wound was still raw. Lily's bedtime stories became their neutral ground, her innocence pushing them to try. Rachel cut all ties with Ethan, yet Ben's trust lingered like a ghost, haunting every interaction. Months passed in a fragile truce. Rachel worked to rebuild, taking on fewer events to focus on family. Ben, scarred, devoted himself to Lily's school activities, finding comfort in her joy. They coexisted with a careful civility. Therapy helped Rachel confront her recklessness, but Ben's guarded looks reminded her of the night she had thrown it all away. The truth, revealed by a careless comment, forced them to face the distance between them. Still, it might not be enough to save their marriage. At Lily's dance recital, Rachel and Ben sat side by side, clapping as she twirled, but their hands never touched. The night with Ethan remained a scar, Rachel's guilt a heavy shadow. Ben hadn't decided on divorce, but his heart wasn't fully committed to reconciliation. Rachel's mistake had fractured their marriage, exposing cracks they had long ignored. They weren't enemies, just two people bound by a daughter, navigating the aftermath of one reckless night. One evening, as they tucked Lily into bed, Rachel caught Ben's eye. There was a flicker of their old warmth, buried beneath pain. Her unforgettable night had been a betrayal, not a romance, and its cost was clear, a marriage on the edge. They fought for Lily, hoping for a chance to heal, though the road was long. Rachel's heart ached knowing her moment of weakness had rewritten their story, perhaps forever. In their quiet home, Rachel kept a photo of Lily as a reminder of why she kept trying. Ben's trust, broken that night, had fractured them, yet they weren't finished. The truth had surfaced, forcing them to confront their flaws. Their love, once vibrant, was now fragile. But for Lily, they held on, hoping time could mend what one night had shattered.